In today's video, guys, we're gonna have a look at the toughest Chaos Shadow boss we have in Season 3. Awakening the Spring of Iskaland event is going to be live in the actual game in a few days, and I just want to help you guys to prepare ahead. Now, I would strongly suggest you leave this boss as the final one for the final week where you need to do 6 of them, because it will be pretty challenging, and you want to make sure you are leveling up your Psychic Core in the meantime, right? For a month, we have plenty of time to level up our Psychic Core, get better gear, and then come back and challenge this as the final boss. This video is sponsored by Dragonheir Silent God, so I just want to say a big thank you to them for continuing to support our channel and our content. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't tried Dragonheir Silent Gods, or you want to help and support the channel, you can download the game by using my link in the description down below, or in the pinned comment, or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. Season 3 Echoes of the Deep is in full swing. Dive deep, battle peak, and come and have a look at all of the new things that we have in Season 3. We have a brand new Elemental Affinity. We have tons of new heroes that were added to the game. Tons of new gear sets, guys. We even have mythical gear sets, which are the one-piece sets. Very nice sets, actually. And I'm so glad that they finally added them to the game, because they are absolutely game-changing. They are completely changing the way we are building heroes in Dragonheir. We have some new artifacts, legendary epics. We have a new sandbox, new bosses, tons of things happening. How I mentioned, in today's video, guys, we're gonna have a look at the toughest Chief Challenge boss, or Chaos Shadow, or however you guys like to call them. This boss, this dragon, is very similar with the Tempest Domain, which most probably you guys are familiar with that boss. The thing is, in my opinion, is that the boss's mechanics are too powerful for the poison element. Of course, if you have Corrosion, if you have Rook, if you have Whisk, you're gonna be just fine. You're gonna get to deal a lot of damage. But if you don't have them, I feel like he's gonna be a struggle for pretty much everyone else, including me on my main account. I'll be struggling because I don't have Whisk. I have Rook, but without Whisk, I just don't manage to get crazy numbers. So I'm on the test server right now. I'm literally mirroring my progression on the account onto here. So my Psychic Core is not completely developed and stuff. By the time I get to fight this boss on my main account, my Psychic Core will definitely be way stronger than it is at the moment. But I'm going to show you that at the end together with the builds. So this boss, guys, basically gets stacks of increased damage. So for each stack of buff the monster has, increases its damage dealt by 10%. So he does have the other two passives, immune to crowd control and immune stacks the damage up, and then he has these two skills: deals fire damage to all enemies and gains a stack of damage reduction for 10 seconds. That will be a buff on him, so that will make him deal extra damage because of the passive. This skill is identical, and then he has the ultimate: soars to the sky and calls young dragons for assistance. After 15 seconds, it returns to deal fire damage to all enemies and sacrifices the young dragons. Each sacrificed young dragon grants 1 stack of damage reduction for 15 seconds. So usually you're gonna kill them, it's gonna be fine. They do deal a lot of damage. They actually kill my damage dealers way before I get to the end of the run. So that's another issue. Probably if I'm manualing this run, it's gonna be a bit better, but I'll be very honest, I don't think any of us wants to stay and manual most of these runs every single day for a long time. The good part is that now at the beginning, we only need to do it once a week. And if I leave this as the last boss, which I'm definitely going to do, no questions asked, I'm only going to have to do it basically one time and forget about it. And then in the Otherworld event, I'm going to have to see how I'm playing this around. Probably just do one team and push the rest 14 teams onto the other bosses, you know. But it's a pretty tough one. Now, let me just quickly show you what I've actually tried. So I had a few different teams. I had this team right here. It just doesn't go far, guys. I can be very direct and tell you this reaches like 11 million. And we have Rook in the team, okay? The builds are very good. They have good artifacts on as well. It's just not enough firepower. Now, if you are trying to bring poison heroes, the ones that land poisons as debuffs, it's not going to work, because the boss will just fly in the sky, cleanse all the debuffs, and when he comes back, he has nothing left. So the poisons, they constantly reset. So that team will be very weak against this. That's why I said that the mechanics for this boss are too powerful for the poison element, in my opinion, you know. So this was completely destroyed. Then I replaced, of course, Theodore, and I brought in Hexandra to get more healing. Not very good. We managed to reach 21 million damage. 21, and that's where we stopped. Then I decided to give it a go and bring in Whisk, which is another legendary hero. I don't have him on my account, unfortunately, but I'm gonna show you what a big difference it makes to have him on the team. So this is the build on all of the characters. I have the Eyeball of the Giant on Rook. We have the Witch's Remains on Furbart. We have the Revatrix Roots on this hero right here. We have the Luminary Order Gospel, and I have the Swamp Toadstool on Whisk. So I have Rook built on an Emperor set. The actual minions, I'm not sure how much attack they have. They do deal a lot of damage. So maybe the Emperor is not necessarily the best set for him. Maybe going with Aerial Ruler is going to be better as well. But that's something that I'll be playing around. I'll be testing more. I'm going to compare the sets in a different video, and I'm going to let you guys know exactly what sets we should use for these bosses, just to kind of like really maximize the damage. But seeing how hard these minions hit, I do think that Emperor might not necessarily be the best choice. Now I have a bit of a timing just to ensure that I'm landing basically the skills in the right order. I don't want them to kind of like be all messed up, especially the corrosion heroes, right? I can put a 13.5 on Rook maybe. The rest, I just let them go crazy, It doesn't matter. The more they use the skills, the better. Probably, how I mentioned, if we are doing it on manual, it's going to be a completely different experience. It might be a bit better, honestly, But check this out. We are putting what we need in here. We're getting the right healing. We're putting the corrosion. Rook is gonna do tons of damage already. We pumped 5 million damage just like that, okay? But then the small minions come and they hit pretty hard. Like, look at my Rook, how weak he's getting. Like, they are completely getting obliterated. So we gotta make sure we are killing these dragons in 15 seconds. If not, the boss comes back and he's gonna devour them and gain a stack, a buff, which will make him deal additional damage. So we want to avoid having too many buffs on the boss, because that will be pretty hard. You see, he has these buffs, damage reduction, so that he will deal 20% more damage, or 10% more damage for every buff. Sorry, not 20. So it's pretty painful, It's pretty painful. Now, the corrosion itself doesn't deal insane damage versus the small dragons that spawn, but it deals a lot of damage versus the dragon, because the corrosion still seems to be attached to the dragon. It's not a debuff, right? So it's not going to expire when he flies in the air and he comes back with no debuffs. He's still going to have that on. We need to kill these dragons as fast as possible, because once the boss comes back down, he's gonna hit us. And guess what? He's not gonna have decreased attack no matter what we're doing. So he's gonna deal damage on us. And if my champions are low, they can get one shot after. So we gotta think about that too. So if I'm gonna do a different timing with Hexandra to heal right before the dragon comes back, it could be a good thing. The only problem is the dragon will come back as soon as we kill the small dragons. And that will never be the same. Sometimes we might kill them super quick. Sometimes it might take us 10 seconds. Sometimes 5. So it won't be a very auto-friendly thing to do. We're going to have to basically manual Hexandra if we want to make sure that my heroes, champions, are not very low when the dragon comes back, you see? Bang! He came in with the lightning, dealt some serious damage on my team. We are already at 32 million damage. But if I'm taking Whisk out of the team, this will look completely different. Like, Whisk does a lot of damage. It might seem only like 15%, but that enables Rook to deal a lot of damage on the boss. So without Whisk, we're not going to be in a very, very good situation. There you go. Exactly what I was telling you. So we already lost Rook, which is the main damage dealer in here. We lost Durang as well. So now we're in a tougher situation here. Definitely not looking very good. This is so tough, guys. Very tough boss in here, and I'm definitely, how I mentioned, going to keep it for the last week. Now, if you don't have corrosion and you will have to do a run on it, probably you need to run Sigrid, you need to run some different heroes like that will enable you to still deal some damage without putting too many debuffs on the boss. I feel like that will be one of the only ways on how you could potentially get damage. Poison, I don't think is going to be very, very effective, you know. But here we are. We cannot kill the dragons now, most probably. So the big dragon is gonna come back, devour all the little ones, and basically gain damage reduction stacks, you know. And probably we're gonna be left alive in here with Frerbart getting the job done towards the end, you know. But it is a very tough boss. Probably is the toughest boss I encountered in every single season so far in Dragonheir, especially when we're talking about the chief challenges, Chaos Shadow bosses, you know. So it's definitely going to create a lot of issues to a lot of players. We even lost Hexandra already, which is pretty crazy. And I'll show you the builds in a second. We have pretty good builds. But how I mentioned, my Psychic Core is not extremely developed, and by the time I'm gonna get to the 4th week on my account, my Psychic Core will be in a better spot, and I will be able to deal better damage, you know. Okay, Whisk. I need a Whisk. That's one thing that I really learned from doing this, is that I really, really need a Whisk on my account as well. So probably I'm gonna wait for the banner if I haven't missed it already, and I'll try my luck. 41.9 million damage. Now, how I mentioned, if I'm gonna manual it, I'm definitely going to be able to get way more damage than this. How I mentioned, if you only have to do it once in the last week, guys, to kind of like maximize the result for the leaderboard, is fine. Like, I'm gonna do that too, probably. It's just once. But then, if you need to do it daily to reach the 22 million damage in the Otherworld event, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge for the majority of the players, because there the extra score doesn't matter anymore, you know. So that's what we have in terms of the poison boss. It's a very challenging one, and I'll be very honest, it will be a big struggle. No matter what teams we're trying to bring in here from the poison element, is going to be pretty challenging. You know, I can bring, of course, better healers. That will make my life a bit easier. But then I kind of like wanted to show you guys a few more accessible teams in a way or another. Even if I'm bringing a different hero instead of Whisk to put more corrosion, we're not gonna be in a good spot. You know, we're still gonna get pretty wrecked. Now, if I'm gonna bring, of course, Theodammer as a tank in here with his taunt, I think we can taunt the small dragons, and then they won't deal a lot of damage on the rest of my heroes. But it's gonna be pretty hard to fit him in the team. I don't think I want to put him in the team instead of Frerbart, for example, you know, because Frerbart just brings in so much healing. And yeah, just regular poisons like Corinne and the rest, I really don't think they will be effective at all versus this boss. But let me just quickly show you the builds that we have on the character. So this is Rook, guys. Almost full crit rate. We have 5.7k attack. We have 200 plus crit damage. Decent survivability, right? It's not the best survivability, but it's decent. And he is on an Emperor set. Then Frerbart, he is on a Puppeteer's Inspiration set. This gives me 15% of his defense to the rest of my team with the Witch's Remains. We have 67k HP. We have a 4k defense. And we have a 60 accuracy, actually. 262 accuracy, or 64, my bad. So we have the right stats to make sure we're not getting resisted. Then we have Dargo, not Durang. Sorry, I'm always mixing up their names. He has almost 50k HP. He has almost 4.6k attack, or he has 4.6k attack, actually. Full crit rate, and we have 168 crit damage. He is, of course, on a Aerial Battle Roar set with the Ravatrix Roots, which give him even more stats, HP, and attack. And we have Hexandra. She is on an Ancestral Protection set to help and support a bit the rest of the team, you know, to soak in some of the damage with the Luminary Order Gospel. We have almost 70,000 HP on her, or actually we have 70,000, and we have 3.4k defense. And a bit of enlightenment for her battle skill, you know. And then we have Whisk. Whisk is on a aerial battle roar set, and we have this swamp toadstool artifact. 45k HP. We have almost 5k 5k attack. We have actually 5k attack, and we have almost full crit rate, and we have 173 crit damage. So this is honestly no joke. The reason why I wanted to make a video on this boss so early on, guys, was just to show you how tough it is, and basically just to allow you to plan ahead a bit better, you know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What team are you planning to use on this boss? Thanks again to Dragonheir for sponsoring today's video. And if you guys haven't tried Dragonheir Silent Ghost just yet, what are you waiting for? You can download the game by using my link in the description down below, or in the pinned comment, or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. That was all for the video. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.